It's a lovely Sunday today, the 5th of November 2023. To present Camnet Television Main News, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. The top stories in the news tonight: the EDGAR LUNGU PF faction vows to defy police warnings on planned mass protests. Government urged to create a conducive political environment. Stakeholders demand the reintroduction of the Ministry of Gender. In international news, Israeli army encircles Gaza City after troops expanded ground offensive in northern Gaza. And in sports news, ARTETA calls VAR decision to award goal in 1-0 loss against Newcastle a disgrace. These are more stories coming up.
This Monday, 6th November 2023, join Pastor Moses Chiluba on national matters with his guest,
Honorable Brenda Tambatamba, Minister of Labour and Social Security.
For pensions, for all the three pension funds I've mentioned, to ensure that members are serviced better.
as they discuss the labour matters in Zambia.
Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages.
Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia.
You are free to watch Camnet TV 24/7 when you download the Limex app on any smartphone or iPhone.
Camnet TV,
Not just another channel.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Hello again, the news in detail. The Africa Sustain initiative, aimed at supporting farmers on the continent to access affordable fertilizers, has been launched in Zambia. Sustain Africa Executive Director Ben Valk said inappropriate application of either organic or chemical fertilizers in Africa is contributing to massive soil degradation. Mr. Valk says with coordinated support, the program assists farmers with access to desirable quantities of fertilizer to prevent diminishing nutrients in soils. Sustain Africa Support Project AFAP Chief Executive Officer Michael Sudakasa says the program is available in 9 African countries. More in the following report.
The cost of fertilizer in Zambia and on the African continent in general remain unaffordable to average farmers, as a result negatively affecting yields. Whilst organic fertilizer provide a viable option to farmers, many lack knowledge on how to go about the process. In supplementing efforts to make all types of fertilizer available to farmers, Sustain Africa Initiative, a non-profit organization, has registered its presence in Zambia. Speaking during the launch, Sustain Africa Initiative Executive Director Ben Valk highlighted the danger of underapplying fertilizer to soils, which is widely witnessed in sub-Saharan Africa.
Reduction in fertilizer uptake of almost 4 million metric tons. There was a study conducted in the first half of 2022 that produced a number, the exact number was 3.9 million metric tons. And with some calculations and knowledge about food systems, you can basically deduct what its effect on the domestic food security in such sub-Saharan African countries would be. And that is what we did. And those results were so alarming that we decided, in a broad partnership, to implement and incorporate Sustain Africa.
Also speaking during the launch Friday, Initiative Support Program Africa Fertilizer and Agribusiness Partnership, AFAP Chief Executive Officer Michael Sandakasa said the program works with fertilizer companies as well as wholesale agro dealers who then support farmers to access various services under the initiative.
It's in the fertilizer sector exclusively at this point. 2 hub agro dealers. So pari passu, which means we split the risk 50-50. We are willing to guarantee against losses from those hub agro dealers not paying. And we do so using guarantees from large DFIs like the African Development Bank and International Development Finance Corporation of the United States. So we issue back-to-back guarantees against capital that is made available by those institutions.
With world geopolitical events having pushed fertilizer prices beyond the reach of many farmers, such initiatives along various government interventions in the agriculture sector should be encouraged if affordable food prices are to be a reality. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Gwembe Town Council Public Health Unit, in collaboration with the Veterinary Department, has confiscated and burned an animal carcass that was found dead near a bridge in Nakanjele area. Samples from the carcass have since been taken and sent to the laboratory for further testing for possible presence of anthrax. Council Senior Public Relations Officer Violet Mananga, who led the inspection team, warned the public not to touch or consume any carcass that has not been tested and certified by competent authorities. She has explained that anthrax can be transmitted through contact with infected animals or their products such as meat, wool or hides. Mrs. Mananga has advised the people to report any suspicious animal deaths to the nearest veterinary or health office. She has disclosed that the council has intensified and restricted the movement of animals within and outside the district as a precautionary measure to prevent the spread of anthrax. Southern Province Minister Credo Nanjua has bemoaned low adherence levels to anthrax containment as people are reportedly drying cattle suspected of dying from the disease. Mr. Nanjua says the residents are then colluding with truckers ferrying coal in Mamba to have the meat transported to unknown destinations. The provincial minister has since cautioned people in the province against the act and called on meat consumers to buy meat from known sources to avoid eating diseased products. According to the Ministry of Health, 335 cases of anthrax have been recorded countrywide, with about 4 deaths.
So all these, when we spoke to them, others they touched the dead carcass, others they actually ate the meat. And we have also lost 2 lives suspected to be affected with the anthrax. So sensitization is very, very important. We want the people to know. And we have got a situation where when an animal dies, others are drying the meat and collude with these truckers who are hauling coal from Mamba and put the meat on the trucks into Lusaka. So meaning no one is safe. Lusaka, Copper Belt, those trucks are going as far as Kasumbalesa. So the spreading really is at a very, very high level, which we need to manage. But we are putting measures to check every truck which is leaving the province, which is leaving these hotspot areas.
A Mungu-based entrepreneur has urged fellow entrepreneurs across the country to embrace innovation as a means of creating self-employment to support their families. Waluka Muyunda, who earns a living from metal fabrication at Carpentry Workshop, has designed a dry motorcycle to ease transportation of goods and employed other young people. Mr. Muyunda has since appealed to government and other well-wishers to support him in acquiring the necessary equipment required to expand his work. More in the following report.
An entrepreneur of LUNGU district in Western Province has taken into practice calls for people to use their skills to earn a living. Government has placed emphasis on the existence and growth of small and medium enterprises, as seen from the creation of the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development. Waluka Muyunda, working as a metal fabricator and carpenter at his Kingdom workshop, has modified a bicycle into this tricycle to ease transportation of goods and has employed 4 youths in the process.
We started here in 2020. That's when we started. Everything is going well. I have 3-4 people that I've employed right now. We've done a tricycle, and this tricycle is still underway to be perfected. That's why we are asking stakeholders to come in so that maybe our youth, we can even employ more to start doing these cargo tricycles.
Mr. Muyunda has appealed to government and other organizations to assist him with capital to expand his business, as efforts to do so under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, has failed.
We as a company, we applied to CDF. We are in Mongo right now, but we are still waiting. CDF is not easy right now to get. I don't know what is happening, but we are still waiting as a company. That we have been promised that maybe 2024 will be considered. This is my appeal now to government to come in, help us, so that we can help the country as well.
Meanwhile, workers at Kingdom Workshop have echoed calls for government and other organizations to come in with recapitalization to assist them sustain their source of livelihood.
Kupamuso kabintu ekonala batusabate ko bameshini tusakayona abuna kama enyani kwibane bakulubusta bateni kwini baba micha mayusi kabintu ekonala batofumane akwanu kuli bakuberekani runa.
With the levels of unemployment in the country still high, such initiatives should be supported to reduce social ills such as alcohol and drug abuse, which is witnessed especially among the youths. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula.
Former Ministry of Gender Permanent Secretary Edwidge Mutale has contended that advancing the gender agenda will be impossible without the Ministry of Gender in place. Speaking with Camnet News, gender consultant Ms. Mutale says gender is not part of cabinet issues, hence wondering if it would be possible to steer gender equality in the country. Non-governmental organization coordinating Council Executive Director Anne Anamela has reminded the government of the need to activate the Gender Commission to superintend over gender matters. More in this report.
Despite realization that women's full and effective participation in all areas of life results in prosperity, women are still, however, involved less in public life and decision-making. It is important that we continue to demand for the promotion of gender equality.
Gender is a cross-cutting issue and not limited to physical violence that is mostly depicted in society. Sustainable Development Goal number 5 speaks about the need to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Zambia has made tremendous progress to address gender issues, and the ministry responsible for the sector has been at the center of the progress recorded in the past. The coming of the United Party for National Development UPND saw the relegation of the ministry to a division under the office of the Vice President, and many say it is not living up to its expectation given the huge task ahead. New ministries have emerged. Among them is the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises that is seen as government's commitment to support businesses. But what is the interpretation regarding the Ministry of Gender? This decision does not sit well with many activists who have been calling on the government to reinstate the Ministry of Gender.
You know, so all those things, trust me, they can only happen when there is money. So when you take away a ministry, you take away money from the sector, then what you're saying is just nothing but air.
The expectation is not to completely reduce the ministry to a division. The expectation is to strengthen the ministry and not reduce it.
We are still very highly underrepresented as women, and I think it's really time that as a country we started walking the talk in terms of ensuring that we have gender equality.
Former Minister of Gender Permanent Secretary Edwidge Mutale contends that without addressing inequalities, Zambia will not attain its developmental needs.
This is why we are emphasizing on having a national machinery where somebody will be able and give a ministerial statement in Parliament, go and put the agenda on the table in Cabinet. The Cabinet papers I was talking about, they are policy direction instruments for governing government. So if we don't have a minister for gender who is presenting those views into those papers where other ministries are tabling and asking their colleagues to assist them with the subject matter. So indeed, it cannot move.
A non-governmental gender organization coordinating council, NGOCC, Executive Director Annie Anamela says the government must activate the Gender Commission and reintroduce the Ministry of Gender.
When we talk about the gender machinery, we talk about some of the institutional frameworks, especially at government level, that will allow us to address gender equity and equality. For example, we talk about the fact that the Ministry of Gender, which was a key component of a gender machinery, was abolished. We also talk about the fact that the Gender Equity and Equality Commission, which is constituted via the National Constitution, has not been established up to now from the 2016 Constitution.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
The EDGAR Lungu-led Patriotic Front PF faction has insisted that the holding of mass actions and proposed day of national shutdown is legally sound, as the practices are within the democratic space in the country. The Zambia Police Saturday warned Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba against promoting acts of anarchy after he earlier called for mass action and nationwide shutdown in response to the turmoil that has engulfed the former ruling party, which is being blamed on the state. In a statement on Sunday, 5th November 2023, PF Faction Information and Publicity Chairperson Emmanuel Mwamba insisted that the calls for protests are all provided for in the laws of Zambia and form part of freedom of expression and association. Mr. Mwamba adds that the party over the last 2 years has noted a deep erosion of democracy and total disregard for the rule of law by the executive. He says the violations span from wide-ranging issues such as abuse of public tender processes to the police actions that involve torturing and meting out inhumane treatment to citizens and those perceived to be political opponents of those in power. Human rights and political activist Brebna Changala has accused the United Party for National Development, UPND, of paralyzing state institutions to fulfill their desire to fuel confusion in the former ruling Patriotic Front. Mr. Changala cites the Zambia Police Service and Registrar of Societies, among other institutions, that the government is using to perpetuate confusion in the Patriotic Front. Mr. Changala was commenting on the happenings in the Patriotic Front, which has been divided into the Miles Sampa and former Republican President Edgar Lungu camps. More in this report.
The confusion in the former ruling Patriotic Front has seen accusations directed at ruling United Party for National Development UPND government. Governors, actors and politicians say the divisions in the Patriotic Front are fueled by the state, of which the state has refuted several times.
Colleagues handle the differences themselves. Yeah. That is what we are looking to, because we want a strong democracy. Yeah. We like strong opposition. Yeah. So it is not in our interest to destroy PF. Let them work together. That is my advice to them. Yeah. Blaming UPND or government will not do. The issue is among themselves. Let them resolve.
Human rights and political activist Brebna Changala says the state has captured state institutions to fulfill the desire of destabilizing the former ruling and biggest opposition political party in the country.
The PF wrangles, as you might be aware, are instigated by the state. The wrangles in the Patriotic Front is a state project. You can even see how it started. Mao Sampa holding a convention on a holiday, on an Independence Day, when everybody was celebrating. They have captured every institution of good governance. They have destroyed everything that can save this country. Or we can say, help us God. I personally, I never knew that Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, the man I know, will act and behave in this manner. That Mr. Hakainde will be a smooth talker and talk us into a trap, because we are now in a trap. We don't even know how to come out of it.
Mr. Changala has since advised PF President Mao Sampa to reflect on his actions and come to the realization that he is just being used.
To Mao Sampa, I appeal to him. He's going to be used in the destruction of this country. And after he's been used, he will be destroyed by the same abusers. He must take time and reflect. He must kneel down and pray. Is it worth it? You don't need to be a rocket scientist that the UPND is on a warpath against the people of Zambia.
Meanwhile, the Office of the Registrar of Societies has amended Patriotic Front PF new office bearers to run the party henceforth. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
A historian at the University of Zambia, Professor Bizek Piri, has advised the government to facilitate a fair political playground for all political players in the country. Professor Piri says the complaints of a shrinking civic and political space is a serious injury to the democratic dispensation of the country, if true. On the other hand, Professor Piri has advised opposition political players to make use of technology to sell themselves and not entirely depend on physical rallies. In the recent past, there have been complaints of a shrinking civic and political space from civil society organizations and opposition political parties. Details in the following report.
Cries over the shrinking democratic space in the country has been a debate over the past months. Politicians, civil society organizations, among others, have accused the government of restricting the opposition from engaging their supporters.
A day after Independence Day, the Zambian Police Service forced its way into the home of Patriots for Economic Progress PEP President Sean Tembo.
But historian at the University of Zambia, Professor Bizek Piri, has advised opposition political players to make use of technology to sell themselves and not entirely depend on physical rallies.
People have cell phones, and if you can send messages, sell yourselves, not messages of insulting the people in power, pointing out what are the challenges. You are using the social media in the normal way, you are communicating. These are the challenges that are there. These are the problems that we are facing. Can we come together? And so that even when you are using social media, because even the security people are also monitoring what you are sharing. They will not come and arrest you because you are sharing information which is not abusive, which is not insulting, but you are simply informing people that these are things that happen. And if you know, we are also part of the players, this is what we want to do. You will be mobilizing people that way.
Professor Piri has, on the other hand, advised the government to facilitate a fair political playground for all opposition political players.
I word to the government and the authorities and to the security is that if it becomes persistent, if it becomes persistent that when an opposition political party wants to have a rally, they are told, no, you can't. Then people begin to question, is it really they are trying to protect people, or they don't want us to talk to the people? So there's need to see that unless there's evidence, there's enough evidence that this political rally is going to create chaos, then the police will say, no, I think we cannot give you permission, or we cannot allow you because we will not be able to contain what is likely to happen. But political parties need to be given that opportunity to speak to the people, to campaign for themselves, sell themselves.
Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
We'll take our first break. Join us for more news after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
And now lift the other hand, because our man of God in a surrendered position is more dangerous than an entire army. So that I can understand that when Mary is in that crowd, part of her is crying for them to choose Jesus over Barabbas. But she doesn't understand the mystery of redemption. That Jesus did not come to the world to die a normal death, because a normal death does not do anything for you and I.
Yes, Mulan Twilako! Oh, Mulan Twilako! Yes, yes.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
This Monday, 6th November 2023, join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters with his guest,
Honorable Brenda Tambatamba, Minister of Labour and Social Security.
For pensions, for all the three pension funds I've mentioned, to ensure that members are serviced better.
as they discuss the labor matters in Zambia.
Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Topstar channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages.
Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia.
You are free to watch Camnet TV 24/7 when you download the Limex app on any smartphone or iPhone.
Camnet TV,
not just another channel.
Welcome back. The National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, NACEZ, has called for the urgent harmonization of salary scales for teachers to curtail mass migration of teachers from primary to secondary schools in search of better pay. NACEZ Executive Director Aaron Chansa says the disparity in salary scales between teachers serving at primary and those at secondary school in recent years is resulting in several teachers rushing for the latter if left unchecked, and which, if left unchecked, will create a crisis in the profession. Mr. Chansa says instead of paying inferior salaries to primary school head teachers, NAKEZ is proposing equal pay for all head teachers, regardless of whether they serve at primary or secondary schools, to curtail the increasingly dangerous situation.
After a critical analysis, NAKEZ notes that primary education in Zambia is under serious threat. A lot of our primary school teachers are migrating to secondary schools, and we predict that in the next 5 years, many more primary school teachers are going to go to secondary schools, and this is going to create a very serious crisis, not only for primary schools, but for the entire system. Government must be able to attend to the issues that are affecting the primary school subsector. A lot of promotions are being given to secondary schools. Most of the senior ministry officials are from the secondary school subsector. This is negatively affecting the primary sector. Funding to primary education is not as much as secondary education. A lot of primary school teachers are not upgraded. We need to attend to these issues in order to stop the migration of teachers from primary schools to secondary schools. So we are very worried, and we hope that these issues are going to be attended to and make sure that teachers stay within the primary school subsector.
Government, through the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, has begun a massive vaccination campaign of cattle in Kazungola district against anthrax that has broken out in the area. Southern Province Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator Dr. Kabwe Puta says 33,000 cattle will be vaccinated in Wombwe and Sikaunzwe veterinary camps in Kazungola. Dr. Puta noted that 33,000 doses of anthrax vaccine produced locally at the Central Veterinary Research Institute in Chilanga have been dispatched to the district. He stated that 14,000 cattle will be vaccinated in Wombwe, while 19,000 will be vaccinated in Sikaunzwe veterinary camps to protect animals against anthrax. Awareness campaigns on anthrax have been accelerated by Breakthrough Zambia through the One Health project funded by the United States Agency for International Development under its Global Health Security Agenda. More in this report.
Government, through the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, has commenced a massive vaccination campaign of cattle in Kazungola district against anthrax that has broken out in the area. Southern Province Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator Dr. Kabwe Puta says that 3,000 cattle will be vaccinated in Wombwe and Sikaunzwe veterinary camps in Kazungola.
So far, we are going to vaccinate about 14,000 in Wombwe, then we're going to vaccinate about 19,000 in Sikaunzwe. We are targeting about 33,000 in Kazungola in general.
And Sikaunzwe veterinary assistant Mlemwa Nyambe says a well-organized vaccination program has been put in place where cattle are vaccinated in crows.
Of course, we are taking information about those that are recording illnesses, that are recording deaths, that those we are isolating them and doing them separately from the rest of the heads.
Meanwhile, Wombwe Ward Chairperson Phineas Chiwozu paid growing tribute to President Hakainde Hichilema's New Dawn administration for responding quickly to deliver vaccines to Kazungola.
Ingombe kuno zirafwa. Ino mboziri mukufwa ngombe. Twazoiya. Akubona kwamba kuti wambovurwazi obu bori mugushupa. Ngombe kuzwa burowa. Mumpemo mukanwa mane agusuro kumatako.
Awareness campaigns on anthrax have been accelerated by Breakthrough Zambia through the One Health project funded by the United States Agency for International Development under its Global Health Security Agenda. Reporting, Lawrence Kabutu in Kazungola, Southern Province.
We'll take our second and final break. We have international sports news after the break.
This Monday, 6th November 2023, join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters with his guest,
Honorable Brenda Tambatamba, Minister of Labour and Social Security.
For pensions, for all the three pension funds I've mentioned, to ensure that members are serviced better.
As they discuss the labour matters in Zambia.
Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Top Star channel 106.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages.
Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia.
You are free to watch Camnet TV 24/7 when you download the LIMEX app on any smartphone or iPhone.
Camnet TV,
not just another channel.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Lift one hand and now lift the other hand, because our man of God in a surrendered position is more dangerous than an entire army. So that I can understand that when Mary is in that crowd, part of her is crying for them to choose Jesus over Barabbas. But she doesn't understand the mystery of redemption. That Jesus did not come to the world to die a normal death, because a normal death does not do anything for you and I.
Yes, Mulan Twilako. Oh, Mulan Twilako. Yeah, yeah.
And now in international news, gunmen stormed the main prison in Guinea's capital early Saturday and freed former dictator Musa Dadis Camara and several others, authorities said. A lawyer for the ex-strongman, though, later said he had been kidnapped. In a statement, prosecutor Yamusa Conte said he has ordered authorities to investigate charges of escaping jail and weapons possessions against Camara and 3 other individuals. However, an attorney for Camara said late Saturday afternoon that her client was back at the central jail where he was being questioned. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
Former Guinean leader Musa Dadis Camara was recaptured and returned to prison on Saturday after being taken out in the morning by a commando. The man who ruled Guinea between 2008 and 2009 was extracted before dawn from the prison along with 2 or 3 other former officials. The circumstances of this operation remain unclear, but Guinean army vows unwavering commitment to authorities. We reaffirm our unwavering commitment to these reforms, which are crucial to the progress and stability of our nation. We invite people to be calm and vigilant. Dadis Camara lawyers insisted that it had been taken against his will and there could be no question of an escape. Camara had lived for years in exile after surviving an assassination attempt by one of his bodyguards before returning home to Guinea in late 2021.
The Jabalia refugee camp under bombardment for the 3rd day in a row. This time near a UN-run school turned shelter for ordinary Palestinians. The Abu Hussein school was a refuge for thousands who had already lost their homes in the Israeli bombardment. The repeated attacks on Jabalia have left hundreds dead, and the UN Human Rights Office says that could amount to a war crime. Major strikes have also hit the Barej refugee camp. And in southern Gaza, another journalist killed in an Israeli strike. Mohammed Abu Hatab was a correspondent for Palestine TV, dead, as well as 10 members of his family. His death was announced on the channel he worked for, his colleagues saying there's no point in wearing protective gear because journalists are being killed regardless. And as the bombardments continue from the air, on the ground, Israel says its troops have now completely surrounded Gaza City.
Israeli forces have completed the encirclement of Gaza City, the centre of the Hamas terrorist organisation. In the last hours, artillery and infantry forces, in cooperation with the Air Force, have been attacking bases, headquarters, concentration points and other terror infrastructure used by Hamas and its terrorists.
But the armed wing of Hamas says its fighters continue to resist.
We are fighting on our land, fighting in its sky, soil, air and water. We will make Gaza, as it was, the curse of history for this entity.
Israel has ruled out any ceasefire, saying that would amount to a surrender. And as its troops press ahead with their offensive, Palestinian civilians spend yet another day searching through rubble for their loved ones and burying the dead. Alex Baird, Al Jazeera.
And now in sports news tonight, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta called the video assistant referee's decision to allow Newcastle's goal in their 1-0 win embarrassing and a disgrace. Anthony Gordon bundled in the only goal with 3 VAR checks to see if the ball went out of play, if there was a foul and if there was an offside, all coming back in Newcastle's favour. The result ended Arsenal's unbeaten Premier League start. Arteta told Sky Sports that the incident was unacceptable, adding that Arsenal did not deserve to lose the match. The Spaniard continued to BBC Sport, saying what happened was embarrassing and how the goal stood in the Premier League, which is said to be the best in the world, made him feel ashamed. To end Camnet Television News, the top stories once again. The EDGAR LUNGU PF faction vows to defy police warnings on planned mass protests. Government urged to create a conducive political environment. Stakeholders demand the reintroduction of the Ministry of Gender. In international news, Israeli army encircles Gaza City after troops expanded ground offensive in northern Gaza. And in sports news, Arteta calls for decision to award goal in 1-0 loss against Newcastle, a disgrace. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Proverbs 12 verse 24. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Thanks for watching Camnet Television News. Bye-bye.